So, a few months ago, we talked about what Aliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexie Hull actually said about playing with Caitlin Clark. Boston called her records pretty cool. Mitchell said she wanted to try it again. Hull admitted the whole team was blindsided when DeWanna Bonner just walked out. But today, I don't want to talk about what they said. I want to talk about what they're doing. Right now, while Clark is still recovering and the Fever front office is trying to figure out who's even coming back next season, because these three, they're in Miami putting in work at Unrivaled. And honestly, what they're doing down there is telling us everything about what this Fever team is going to look like when the season starts. Boston looks like a completely different player. Mitchell is proving she can carry a team by herself. And Hull? She's already got a championship ring that nobody else in Indiana has. Let's get into it. Okay, so if you watched Aliyah Boston play in Unrivaled last year, you probably walked away thinking, yeah, maybe 3-on-3 just isn't her thing. And look, I would have agreed with you. She was on vinyl backing up Dearica Hamby, averaging like 6 points a game, 9 minutes a night. She looked uncomfortable out there, like she couldn't find her rhythm. Fast forward to right now, January 2026? I don't know what happened to that player, because the Aliyah Boston playing for Phantom it's like watching someone else. She's putting up over 18 points a game, 8+ rebounds, and here's the one that should scare every team in the WNBA. She's leading the entire league in blocks. 2 per game, and it's not even close. Oh, and she's 4th in steals too. The 3 players ahead of her? All guards. So Kelsey Plum is playing with Boston on Phantom, right? And Plum said something that made me do a double take. She compared Boston to A'ja Wilson. Now hold on. A'ja Wilson has 4 MVPs, 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, 3 championships. That's the comparison Plum is making. That's the level she's saying Boston is reaching. And Boston herself has been pretty honest about what's going on. She said after one of her recent games, "I think overall my game has improved. Unrivaled helped me with my pace, just being able to guard people with more space on the floor. That's definitely important for me, and just continuing to try different stuff to expand my game." You hear that? Try different stuff to expand my game. Last year she looked stuck, planted around the basket, not much creativity. Now she's moving all over the court, attacking space, actually dictating what's happening out there. The Fever already locked her in through 2026 when they picked up her option back in April, so they're getting this version of Boston back. And when Clark is healthy again, that pick and roll is going to be a problem for everybody. All right, now let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell, because her situation it's complicated. So, last January, Mitchell signed a 1-year Supermax deal, $249,000, to stay in Indiana. Front office called her priority number 1. Caitlin Clark was celebrating on social media. Aliyah Boston was hyped. Everything looked great. Then Mitchell went out and had maybe the best season of her career. She was in the MVP conversation. When Clark went down with injuries, Mitchell helped carry the team to the semifinals. She averaged over 18 a game against Vegas in the playoffs. And now, she's a free agent, again. The Fever have said, again, that bringing Mitchell back is the top priority. Coach Stephanie White went on a podcast in October and said, quote, "She was the #1 priority a year ago, and she's the #1 priority this year." But here's where it gets weird. Back in late December, Mitchell posted something on social media. Just said, "When people show you who they are, believe them the first time." She didn't explain it. Could be about anything. Could be personal stuff. But the timing? Right in the middle of free agency talks? People noticed. And Mitchell has talked about how her father passing away changed her perspective. She said during exit interviews, "Family is big for me. I got to do what's best for us." So while everyone just assumes she's coming back to Indiana, nothing's signed yet. Meanwhile, she's down in Miami, playing for Hive. Brand new team, no history, no chemistry with these players, and she's carrying them. They started 0-3, lost their first 3 games. Then Mitchell dropped 24 points on 11 of 17 shooting and led them to their first win. And who'd they beat? The defending champions, Rose, Lexie Hull's team. Mitchell was blowing past Chelsea Gray, Kahleah Copper, Hull. She was cooking everybody. Couldn't stop her. She's averaging over 16 a game now and proving that even on a team that's struggling, Even with players she's never worked with before, she can be the one. The question for Indiana is $249,000 enough to keep her? Because if this new CBA pushes salaries way up, Mitchell might have options she's never had before. And then there's Lexie Hull. Remember what we talked about last time? Her stats tanked when Clark got hurt. Shooting went from 48% down to 31%. She said the team was blindsided by Bonner leaving. Well, something happened. Last March, Hull and Rose won the first Unrivaled championship ever. Chelsea Gray got Finals MVP, but Hull was right there starting games, guarding the best players, making plays in the clutch. And Stephanie White noticed. Here's what White said during exit interviews. Lexie came back a much more aggressive, assertive player from Unrivaled. That's not just coach speak. That's a real observation about how much she grew. Hull talked about what made that Rose team special. I think as a group, we really stuck together and came out every game with a lot of effort and energy. It's a challenging league. There's a lot of great players. But more than anything, we're just excited to keep bringing that energy day in and day out. Sound familiar? That's exactly what the Fever needed when everyone was getting hurt last season. Now Hull's back with Rose defending the title. She posted after a recent game, "Playing with Chelsea Gray is better than playing against Chelsea Gray." Little mind-blown emoji. I mean, yeah, fair. Gray dropped 12.6 points and 7 assists per game on the Fever in the playoffs. Hull would know. But here's the thing about Hull that I think people miss. While Boston and Mitchell are focused on basketball, Hull launched her own business, a makeup brand for athletes called Forta. This woman has a master's degree in engineering from Stanford. She won an NCAA championship. She won an Unrivaled championship. She started a company, and she's 26. Hull is a restricted free agent, so the Fever have the right to match any offer. But with expansion drafts coming for Toronto and Portland, young, versatile defenders are going to be in demand. Nothing's guaranteed. So let's put this together. Boston is expanding her game and looking like a legit Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Mitchell is proving she can carry a team when the star goes down. Hull is defending a championship and learning from the best guards in the league. All three of them are doing exactly what the Fever need, getting better during the offseason instead of just resting. But there's still uncertainty here. Mitchell hasn't signed. Those cryptic tweets aren't helping anyone sleep at night. If she leaves, the Fever lose their second-best scorer and Clark's backcourt partner. Hull is restricted, but expansion drafts change things. Portland and Toronto are going to be hunting for players exactly like her. And Boston? She's locked in. But the question is whether the front office can actually build around her and Clark the right way this time. Because let's be real, last year did not go according to plan. Bonner was waived after 9 games. Clark played just 13 games before multiple injuries shut her down. The team made a miracle run to the semifinals with half the roster hurt. That's not sustainable. You can't do that every year. What is sustainable? Having 3 players who spent their offseason working instead of coasting. 3 players who've now tasted winning culture. Whether it's Boston learning from Kelsey Plum, Mitchell proving she's not just a sidekick, or Hull collecting championships. The Fever have something most teams don't. Young players who actually want to be there, who have real chemistry, who have history together. The question is whether the front office can keep them together. Last time we talked about what Boston, Mitchell, and Hull said about playing with Caitlin Clark. Now you've seen what they're doing. Boston is becoming a two-way star. Mitchell is proving she can lead. Hull is stacking rings. When the 2026 season starts, we'll find out if all 3 of them are still in Fever jerseys. And if they are, look out. Tell me in the comments, which one has impressed you the most this offseason? And do you think Mitchell actually comes back? Subscribe if you want more of this. I'll see you in the next one.